Let's get started. Today, we're here to discuss the role of virtual reality in education and how it can benefit students in remote areas. I think VR has immense potential to revolutionize learning, especially for those in remote areas who lack access to quality educational resources. What do you think?
Building on that idea, I'd like to highlight the interactive aspect of VR technology. By simulating real-world environments, students can engage in experiential learning, which can be particularly beneficial for subjects like science and history. This immersive approach can make complex concepts more accessible and fun.
A very valid concern. I'd like to add that another potential drawback is the issue of equity. While VR technology can be a game changer for some, it may not be accessible to all students, particularly those from lower income backgrounds. How can we ensure that VR technology is inclusive and doesn't exacerbate existing educational inequalities?
That's a very good point about equity. I'd like to add that implementing VR technology in a way that's inclusive and accessible to all students requires careful consideration of the digital divide. To address this, schools and governments could invest in subsidizing VR equipment and internet access for underprivileged students.
Referring back to my earlier point about interactive learning, I think VR technology can also facilitate collaboration among students. For instance, virtual labs can enable students to work together on experiments, promoting teamwork and communication skills. How do you guys feel about incorporating VR into project-based learning?
That's a very good point about collaboration. I think incorporating VR into project based learning can also help students develop essential soft skills, such as problem solving and critical thinking. By working on virtual projects, students can learn to navigate complex challenges and develop a more nuanced understanding of real world applications.
Building on that idea, I'd like to highlight the potential for VR to make learning more engaging and fun. Interactive simulations can make complex concepts more accessible and enjoyable, which can lead to increased student motivation and participation. This can be particularly beneficial for students in remote areas who may face unique challenges in staying motivated.
That's a very good point about engagement. I'd like to add that VR can also provide a safe space for students to experiment and make mistakes, which is an essential part of the learning process. For example, in a virtual lab, students can conduct experiments without the risk of causing harm to themselves or others.
I completely agree that VR provides a safe space for experimentation. Additionally, it can also facilitate personalized learning experiences tailored to individual students' needs and learning styles. By incorporating AI powered adaptive learning tools, VR can adjust the difficulty level and content in real time, ensuring that students stay engaged and motivated.
That's a very good point about personalized learning. I'd like to add that VR can also help address the issue of teacher shortages in remote areas. By providing virtual access to experienced teachers and mentors, VR can help bridge the gap in educational resources and provide students with the support they need to succeed.
Adding to that point, virtual access to experienced teachers and mentors can also help address issues related to teacher motivation and retention in remote areas. When teachers are isolated or lack support, they can struggle to stay motivated and up to date with best practices. Virtual communities of practice and mentorship programs can help teachers stay connected and supported, which can have a positive impact on student learning outcomes. This can be especially beneficial in remote areas where teachers may feel disconnected from their peers and the broader education community.
That's a very good point about teacher motivation and retention. I'd like to add that VR can also help foster a sense of community and connection among students in remote areas. By enabling virtual interactions and collaborations, VR can help students feel more connected to their peers and to the broader learning community, which can be particularly important for students who may be isolated or have limited social opportunities.
I think that's a crucial aspect of VR in education. Building on that idea, I'd like to highlight the potential for VR to support students with special needs or disabilities. By providing immersive and interactive experiences, VR can help students with diverse learning needs engage with complex concepts in a more accessible and enjoyable way, which can be particularly beneficial for students in remote areas who may have limited access to specialized support services.
Reflecting on our discussion, it's clear that VR has tremendous potential to bridge the educational gap in remote areas. By providing immersive, interactive, and personalized learning experiences, VR can help level the playing field for students who may not have access to traditional resources. I think we've only scratched the surface of what's possible.
As we wrap up, I'd like to reinforce the idea that VR has the potential to revolutionize education in remote areas. By addressing challenges like cost, accessibility, and teacher support, we can unlock the full potential of VR to provide equal opportunities for all students, regardless of their location.
It's heartening to see how VR can bridge gaps in education. I appreciate the thoughtful insights shared. Let's hope that by working together, we can harness VR's power to create a more inclusive and engaging learning environment for all, paving the way for a brighter future in education.
In closing, the potential of VR to transform remote education is undeniable. By bridging gaps in access, equity, and engagement, VR can help create a more inclusive education system. I appreciate the collaborative discussion and insights shared. They underscore the importance of leveraging VR to enhance learning opportunities for all.
Ultimately, harnessing VR in education requires a thoughtful approach to maximize its benefits while mitigating challenges.